Grand Theft Auto 5 is a really weird game if you think about it. It has an anime that they made specifically for the game, it has a cult that you can join, and for some reason every character has supernatural abilities that are literally brought up once in the entire game. GTA 5 is a huge and sprawling game, which means in turn that it features dozens of menus, UI elements, icons, and everything else you could think of. But since it would be mind-numbingly boring for me to talk about everything the game has to offer, I figured I would discuss the more big picture aspects of the game's design overall. Starting with the excellent art direction. From the moment you boot up this game, you are bombarded with, actually, not the right word, you are gently soothed with these amazing stills of iconic cliches of Los Santos. It's a good thing this art is so good, because the loading times for this game, especially on the 360, are stupidly long. And while I definitely could have made a dick joke there, I chose not to because I am a serious journalist. And speaking of serious, let's talk about this game's radio. Radio has always been a pretty huge part of GTA, and it's pretty impressive to see how much work has been put into each station. The UI behind the radio system is fairly simple, but adding logos to each one and having like the song details is just nice, and I'm glad they added it. And speaking of nice little details, still not making a dick joke. However, as opposed to Persona 5's UI, many elements of GTA 5 are quite plain, and I guess in a game this massive, adding loads upon loads of style isn't really possible. The overall design of GTA 5 is really all over the place because that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be parodying everything, from hippies to corporations to weebs to the stupid motherfucker just sitting there watching this video. This game has so many ideas and is so vast that it's kind of hard to pinpoint if the UI is actually good, because while some stuff is really sleek and easy to use, some areas like the character switcher have as much creativity put into them as a top 10 video about brands of milk. It kind of pains me to look at so many of these boring menus from such a creative and wonderful game, and nowhere is that creativity more apparent than within the fake internet created for the game. For some reason, a group of high-ass developers at Rockstar decided to make 83 fake websites just as a joke. There's a dating site where you can find Michael's wife, and a website where you can buy bath salts in an attempt to figure out why Rockstar put manopauseadventures.com into a game about robbing banks. Well, it's super cool that these developers put all the work in to make these. I just wish the same level of care was put into a lot of these drab-ass menus. But why? I mean, for a lot of players, the design of the menus doesn't really matter. All that matters is that the game is fun, and I can understand that. I mean, while many menus in this game are plain and a bit boring, at least they aren't bad. For many people, good UI design isn't having these super cool looking menus and packing each UI element with as much style as physically possible. For a lot of people, good UI design is just something that works. But you know what? Fuck that. It's a video game, not fucking Skype. It should have a UI that reflects the themes of the games, that uses shapes and color in a cool way, and that elevates the experience instead of being an afterthought. UI is as much a practical necessity as it is a tool to convey information. And when the information you're conveying is presented in a less creative way than Google fucking Maps, well, there's a problem. And although I've been kinda harsh on this game's UI up to here, there are a decent amount of stuff that this game does pretty well. Something this game does really well is how it differentiates between the three main characters. Each character in this game has their own color, phone, car, and place that they live in. And while some of these aren't UI related, the game overall does a great job of justifying the three character system because they all live drastically different lives. The UIs of each of the three characters' phones in this game are pretty simplistic and not great, but the little details like the crack in Trevor's phone, or the fact that Trevor is so goddamn alternative that he uses Windows Phone, actually kinda convey a lot about the characters. This game's HUD, or heads-up display, is also pretty good just from like a functional standpoint, giving you easy to read information and also like hiding itself when necessary. And while I don't really like the main menu at all, I will say that each of the different vehicle types in the online mode having their own icon is a really nice touch. This game has a few great examples of UI, maybe a couple bad ones, but overall I just feel that so much of this game's UI is just meh. So whether it's just me getting bored with the game, or some sort of misguided attempt at simplicity, the UI of this game just truly doesn't convey the creativity and wonder that this game has to offer.